after the radio station. Wonderful.
Right.
Are we excited, guys? Are we excited? Do we need a drum roll as we bring them all on? We're going to start with our newly elected, oh boy, assembly person, and that is none other than Khaleel Anderson. We selected him because, number one, he hails from Southeast Queens, and he has an impressive bio, and it's amazing of what he has accomplished to now becoming the first and only, well, the first and only at this point, youngest assembly person in the entire United States as a Black person. Okay, that's a Black assembly person, age 24, the youngest in the nation. Can you please give a round of applause? Let us hear the round. Clap, clap, clap. All right. So we are bringing Khaleel up. And before we do that, I would like to, we are going to bring up his trophy. Khaleel, are you there? I don't.
Yes, good evening, Winnie. Thank you so much. I am here.
Oh, wonderful. So what we are going to do right now, hold on, just a little technical issue here that we are trying to do.
You guys didn't tell them.
Yeah, there you are. Wonderful. Wonderful. Look at that.
Right
Look
down the
at
street from Annette's business.
Oh, look at that. Look at this. Oh, this is awesome. 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 Well, what we want to do at this point is that we are going to share and we're going to read your bio, but I think it's only fair that we share what we are going to deliver to your office. Okay. So this MARLS NYC Annual Black History Recognition Award is presented to you, the Honorable Assemblyman Khaleel Anderson, for being the youngest member of the state legislature in U.S. history, 31st District in Southeast Queens. Now, what I want to do is to read a little bit of his bio, and that is, basically, I want to make sure we are seeing him. Very good. Are you seeing him? Yes. All right. So Assemblymember Khaleel Anderson was elected to serve Assembly District 31 in Queens for his first term in November 2020. Anderson represents parts of the Auvergne, Brookville, Far Rockaway, Hamels, Rosedale, South Ozone Park, South Richmond Hill, Springfield Gardens, and John F. Kennedy International Airport. Anderson began his young career as a community organizer at the age of 13 and has since been dedicated to leadership, service, and advocacy. In 2011, he was an organizer for a local nonprofit that trains cohorts of youth in civic engagement. Anderson was the youngest member of the Queens Community Board 14 and his local police precinct council during his tenure. Anderson's hard work, leadership, and dedication to his community has earned him recognition from Governor Andrew M. Cuomo, Congressman Gregory Meeks, and other state and local elected officials. Assemblymember Anderson is a leading voice in addressing issues of food insecurity, disaster preparedness, housing, transportation, and healthcare, planning in Assembly District 31. Prior to his election, he demonstrated his ability to govern while serving as a student activist and a respected community activist. He worked to build a half-acre urban farm, which provides fresh produce, workshops, trainings on healthy eating, and employment opportunities for young people. He remains committed to amplifying the unique voices of young people and all his constituents. Anderson was born in Brooklyn and raised in the Rockaways. Khaleel Anderson graduated Queens College with a BA on the BA program and is finalizing an MA in Urban Affairs with minor in Cities and Social Medicine. He currently works as a supplemental instructor for the Percy E. Sutton Search for Education, Elevation, and Knowledge, which is the SEEK program at Queens College. As a new member of the legislative body, Khaleel Anderson provides include, priorities rather, include housing and healthcare justice, criminal justice reform, educational equity, transportation equity, and environmental justice. Assembly Member Anderson is the youngest Black Assembly member in the New York State history and the country. Anderson lives in Far Rockaway in New York. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you person, Khaleel Anderson. Please give him a round of applause. Khaleel, can you?
Thank you so much, Winnie. In another lifetime, Winnie was an announcer at MSG. No, thank you so very much, MARLS. I'm humbled and honored that y'all would take the evening to recognize the work that we're doing, but also recognize the history that you were all a part of helping me make. This is my first award ever received in my tenure as a member of the legislature. So that's also a great honor, particularly because it's coming from my backyard. So I'm gracious and thankful, but also committed to making sure that we invest in small businesses and prioritize economic development in our communities, Black businesses, people who have struggled to get up the ranks and have struggled through systemic oppression, have struggled through a lot of obstacles to get their businesses off the ground, to get their businesses functioning. And so this organization, MARLS, has done incredible work making sure that we not only help maintain businesses here in Southeast Queens, but we're training the next business leaders of the future. And it's a blessing. It's also an interesting thing that I'm being honored for being a businessman. When people think, oh, well, politics is not a business, right? It's not your traditional box store, front store business. But in actuality, I'm in the business. Politics is the business of helping people. Politics is supposed to be the business of connecting people to resources and opportunities. And so I'm committed to that. I've been committed to that as an organizer, and I will be committed to that, of course, as your elected leader for as long as you allow me to, because I also have to humble myself and remember that I'm only empowered and I'm only employed so long as you all elect me every 2 years and allow me to do the critical work to repair our communities and be up front. You know, this Black History Month is critically important, particularly everything that we faced last year. With the George Floyd case, with losing a lot of our Black businesses across the city and state because of COVID-19. And it's going to be a pivotal moment, particularly in this budget session here on the state level and on the city level, to ensure that we protect our small businesses, to ensure that we invest in them, but we also protect the things that we've fought tremendously hard for over generations as Black people to advance. So, you know, my model this Black History Month has been, and if anybody's been watching our series every day throughout the month of February, we've been trying to highlight Black leaders locally and, you know, national figures, folks who've, you know, been recognized worldwide. And our motto is that we're focusing on our Black history, but we're also building our Black future. And that's what we are doing here tonight by recognizing the businessmen and leaders, of course, the business women who are the backbone of organizations like this and organizing in general. All the spaces that I've been in so far as both an organizer and now as an elected leader, Black women have been at the forefront of this critically important work. And so while we're honoring Black men, we have to honor and recognize the Black women in the business community, Black women in the spaces of politics, and Black women in social justice areas and spaces that often go under-recognized in these moments. So I just want to thank you all at MARLS for your critically important work, and thank you for the honor of receiving my first award as an elected official. I'll never forget this moment.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay.
Can we see that award again?
Oh, yes, you've got to see the award again. Look at it. Isn't this beautiful? He said this is his first award. Look at
So
it.
Khaleel, if we were in person, I will be taking a picture with you with the award.
Yes, absolutely.
Maybe you could take a screen capture of me like pretending to hold it. I got it right here.
That's right. Exactly. We were trying to see
So
how we
I
could do
like
a split. We were trying to see how we could have done a split screen on this, but they told me I had to be on what's the other one? StreamYard or something like that. StreamYard. StreamYard to do this. But
it's okay. Next time we learn. But
yes.
It's an honor for us to give you this award. Khaleel, I'm very, very excited. And as I said, you're a trailblazer, and we want to acknowledge you and support you in every endeavor. So looking forward to working with you closely as we try to strengthen the Black businesses in our community.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it, Annette and Winnie. This is, I'm overcome right now. This is great.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Very good. Now, we have another powerful man that I have known from the 80s. We just wanted to know, is Senator Senator Comrie or any of his dignitaries, are they present as yet? You know?
I'm in correspondence with him via text message, and he's trying to log on. So we'll just give him a few minutes.
Okay, very good. So in the meantime, I would like to read the bio of someone who I respect deeply. 51 wonderful years in Southeast Queens and have served this nation. As you can see, as far as South Carolina, Virginia, they're all calling in, okay? You're not in business for 51 years and haven't touched a lot of lives. And so while we are basically waiting for our senator to come on, I'm going to read his bio. This person happens to be Frank Williams Sr., who is a native of Darlington, South Carolina, was raised on the family farm where he learned many fundamental principles for healthy living, including faith in God, self-discipline, teamwork, and good work ethics. Endowed with an entrepreneurial spirit early in life, he started his first business at the age of 15. Frank migrated to New York City, where he married his high school sweetheart, Thomasina Johnson, in 1960. He held several sales positions in New York before he and his wife opened their first business, Williams Laundromat in St. Albans, New York, in 1969. In 1975, he was ready for his second business venture with a variety store and later took on the challenge with his brother James to open the Williams supermarket all on the same block. In 1993, he contemplated turning a vacant space on the same block of businesses into an elegant catering hall in the heart of St. Albans. This dream became a reality when the doors of Thomasina's catering hall opened to the public in September 1995. With a strong support team, and as you know, it is strong. Most of them have taken up our screens here. That's great family and support, right? With that strong support team in the family-owned business, Frank Williams and his team committed to providing the highest quality service to the community he serves. Frank, 51 years in business, is a role model in his community and demonstrates leadership within his organization. His dedication to the community he serves extends beyond the walls of his businesses. He contributes to Operation Summer Fund and area block associations. He trained and mentored neighborhood youth, embraces opportunities to speak at youngsters about entrepreneurship. Frank Williams Sr. leads by example with his friendly smile, extra measure of patience. I will repeat, extra measure of patience. I'm a witness to that. Caring attitude and a giving spirit. which have touched and made a difference in the lives of many in the community and beyond. 1999, Frank married the awesome Valencia Robinson, who is a great supporter of continuing the legacy and vision. I would make mention, and you would see it in your program, he has been a recipient of the Proud Heritage Society Award from the Mayor's Office. He has the Paul Harris Fellowship from the Rotary Foundation. The Christian Times have honored him. The 113th Precinct Community Council have also done so. Unite on the One-Star Humanitarian Award. The Barnes Historical Society, the SQPA of New York, and the YAIP have also done so. Achievement Award Queensborough from the Queensborough President, rather, from the SQPA NY YAIP, right? And the City Council citation for exemplary service to the community, exemplary service to the community. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, will you, and I'm looking for him because I need to see him show up. He's on camera. Can anybody, well, I guess when he speaks, we are going to see him, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, I present to you none other than Frank Williams. Is Frank on? I know I saw him on.
Yes, he is.
Yes, he is. So can we have visual?
I think he's muted. He's
He's
muted.
Muted?
He needs to unmute.
Okay, because we have to give him his award here.
You
Okay,
need to unmute.
and to do a visual.
They're there. They need to unmute himself. Unmute.
Yes. We see the entire family. We have one of our members, which is part of the family, and that's Tony Williams. Tony, say hello, wave to us. We miss you. And he represents Thomasina's, and I know we have Vivian. How many of you know Vivian McMillan? All right. These are the ones that we see when we go to Thomasina's. I know Val was also on. Oh, there he is. Okay, he's in that blue. All right, so can we unmute him for a second? And so he can speak or?
Okay. Okay. All right.
Once
Can you hear us?
Yeah, once he
Yes.
starts to speak, we all be able to see him. So Frank, you are on. I hope we haven't lost him.
Okay. Good evening, everyone.
I think the camera is off.
Yep, we can hear you.
Wait, bring up closer.
Yeah, we're not seeing him.
Is that any better? Okay, go ahead.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Okay,
Good evening.
good evening. Good to be here today.
Good evening.
Yes.
Okay now?
Yes,
No
we're not
no
seeing you,
video.
but we're hearing
Good
you.
evening, everyone.
Good
Thank you for
evening,
being
we're
here
hearing you.
today, okay?
Yo, there you are.
Okay. Giving God to honor who is a giver of every good gift. I would like to thank MARLS organization for bestowing this honor or recognition for my contribute to this our community. My journey started in 1969. I was met with many challenges. Along the way, God provided me with Archie Spickman, Reverend Floyd Flake, Yvonne Raddick, and many other politicians, community actors who came to my aid. I am very grateful to St. Albans, Cayman Heights organization, Springfield Garden, and other communities that have support this business over the years. Thomasina is a family-owned business, so I would like to thank my wife, my brother James and his wife, manager Vivian McMillan, Tony Williams, my nephew Ulysses, Anthony Beasley, and all Thomasina staff for their encouragement and support to our years. We thank everyone to supporting us, and now we are already open, so continue to support us, and we appreciate that. Come and we can, on Sunday, we got a good buffet, so take out and sit in, okay? Stop by and say hello to me. I'll be there. Wendy, I thank you very much for what you have done.
Yes.
Good. So
Thank you.
Again for this contribution. Thank you.
Wonderful. We're going to show you a plaque. Don't leave, because we do have Senator Comrie, who said, his staff said he had to be here and personally address you. Can we bring Senator Comrie right now? Senator, are you there?
I am. I am here. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for honoring Brother Williams. He is truly a great person, a real giving soul in our community, and running Thomasina's for many years, trying to make sure that people had an opportunity to have some good soul food in a catering setting. You know, I know people came far and wide just to get the macaroni and cheese and the chicken and everything else. And I got chicken here and macaroni here, and you know, it's all over. Anyhow, let me stop. I'm trying to keep my spirits up because we're in a crazy time. But Brother Williams is a good brother, and he's never failed to try to help our community in many ways, working with our business people, mentoring a lot of young folk, working by example, because he's still there at events. He's not at an event. He's not walking away from an event. Even today, he's there making sure that the event is well run and well maintained. Working with Vivian McMillan, who's also a wonderful person, but you know, Frank Williams a long time ago engaged in purchasing property, and not just one property, but multiple properties, so that he could make that happen. And you know, sacrificing and creating an opportunity not just to be a tenant, but an owner and a landlord. And I just want to congratulate him and his team for everything that they have continued to do to show that they are a beacon in our community. And I know that while they can't be as fully open as they want during this time, we're going to do everything we can to make sure that when that time opens, we'll be back in Thomasina's doing our line dancing and our good eating and everything else. So, we have a Senate proclamation for you. I don't have it physically with me, but we will be getting it over to Mr. Thomas, and it's an official Senate proclamation. And we will be bringing it up by Thomasina's as soon as the opportunity allows. I know he's been honored by many people already. I know he was honored by me when I was in the city council, but now that I'm in the state Senate, I'm doing it again. So it's because he deserves it. And he deserves to get the flowers before he passes. He deserves to get the recognition. He's truly a beacon for many of us in Southeast Queens, because he was taking care of this and becoming an entrepreneur when it was not easy. So he's paved the way for many of us, and he's truly an example that we should appreciate. So thank you, Brother William. God bless you, stay healthy. And to everyone here, thank you all. I'm actually on a subcommittee Zoom that I have to deal with now for the budget, so I'm gonna jump off. But thank you all for everything that you're doing. The MARLS family is a great family. It's someone that everyone that's listening and watching should support, because they're doing things to create opportunities for entrepreneurs. They're teaching people how to become independent, and how to become self-sufficient, which is the first word I was looking for. And also how to be able to find ways to prosper even in this economy that we're working in. So please join MARLS, join these programs, work with each other, collective economics, collective cooperation. We're trying to do it as elected officials in Southeast Queens, but if the business community can do it successfully, we will truly change the opportunities in Southeast Queens for our great, 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 great grandchildren. Thank you all, have a blessed evening.
Thank you, Senator. Thank you. Give Senator a round of applause. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Take care, everyone.
You're welcome. And so we just wanted to share again his award. And for both, this is his award right here. As you can see, if I can scroll it up, it doesn't move up and down for some reason, but it is saying we are presenting Frank Williams Sr. for 51 years of business resiliency in Southeast Queens, New York on February 22nd, 2021. Congratulations again, Mr. Williams. And I did see that someone wanted to know how they can get to Thomasina and support you. So we're asking your team to type in the Thomasina's address because there are people who are asking. So Miss Vivian or Tony Williams, any of you can kindly put in the chat because people are asking how they can support Mr. Williams, okay? All righty. So now we do honor and we thank each and every one of those who've just been honored. We thank you for your service and we are going to continue to work with you in MARLS. Now, the next person we are going to hear from is a good colleague of mine, and he is Kyle. How many of you, by the way, commercial break, in the chat is a program. You could scroll up and you can see the program so that you know we're following a program. Also, you will also see another file about the membership plan of MARLS. So just keep scrolling. That's the only PDF you will find in the file. So you will be able to follow right along. So we are going to bring up our keynote for the evening. And that's none other than someone who I know we're having our eyes on to make sure he gets an award on one of these days. We don't want to tell him when because then it's not a surprise, right? But I'm putting him in the nominating box. This is Kyle, who is born, or was born, and he still is, in Port of Spain, Trinidad and Tobago, and migrated to New York in 1996. He says that I am still a Trini by heart. So that's why you see me say was, because he believes that he is still Trini by heart. He pursued his education at Brooklyn College in business management and finance. Kyle took a leap of faith and entered into entrepreneurship in the year 2000. 8 years later, he became a full-time entrepreneur and has never looked back. Over the past 20 years, Kyle has owned and operated several businesses, including a family-owned printing and shipping company. He's now the CEO and founder of Eminae Network and managing partner and principal of the NYBB Group. Kyle has over 10 plus years of experience representing small to mid-sized businesses in need of mergers and acquisitions and business advisory services. Though his focus is on the confidential sale, acquisition, and valuation of HVAC, trucking, and distribution businesses, he also lends his expertise to clients in a broad range of sectors. Kyle is a certified business intermediary and a certified mergers and acquisitions professional and holds a New York State real estate license. He is on the board of governors of the International Business Brokers Association. He's a board member of the International Association of Business Intermediaries, as well as on the board of the New York Association of Business Brokers and chairman of the Ethics and Member Engagement Committees for the IBBA. He has a passion for youth development and is a board member of the Liberty T Community Tennis Association located right here in Liberty Avenue in Southeast Queens. Kyle is married to his beautiful wife, Ayana, and together they have two gorgeous daughters, Kilamari and Rael Joy. I think it's Rael Joy. He loves and plays sports, an avid reader, and supports the entrepreneurship movement. Ladies and gentlemen, we just don't have the big drum roll here, but you are going to hear from none other than Carl Griffith. Give a round of applause for him.
Thank you very much, Minnie. And my girls would say it's Kyla Marie and Rael. They have to let daddy know that, make sure that, you know, we say the name correct.
Kyla Marie and
that's
Rael.
my two beautiful daughters. So this is, oh my gosh, I'm just totally blown away. The two honorable guests and honorees we have today. I'm just listening to their stories. I'm just have chills that's coming down my back. It's just amazing, amazing, amazing the compliments. You know, I just want to start off by applauding Mr. Frank Williams and the Honorable Assembly Member Khaleel Anderson for their extraordinary accomplishments. You know, what you have accomplished is inspirational to us all, and it gives the youth of tomorrow hope that their dreams are possible. I was the youth that was watching sports in my TV back in Trinidad, seeing what's possible in the US. And just for what both of you have done here in New York, it's just having shockwaves across the country and internationally for that matter. So don't take it lightly. So Khaleel, this is your first of many awards. What you're doing is tremendous, especially at your age. I'm rooting for you big time. You have a fan in me and many of your members in your community that have voted you in. You're just doing big things, and we as a community here just appreciate everything that you and Mr. Williams is doing, especially for the Queens community. The attendees on this webinar who have dreams of owning their own business, opening, whether it be a laundromat or a catering hall like Mr. Williams did, or even running for public office. You know, what Mr. Williams and Assemblyman Anderson have done, have proven that anything is possible with hard work and dedication. And I can't say enough that there's opportunities everywhere, and you have to have preparation. So when opportunities come your way, you can take advantage of it. When this presentation started, and I just want to thank Winnie and Annette, Mr. Duncan, James Taylor, everyone that's been part of the MARLS leadership. Don't take this lightly, the information that they're sharing. There are folks that are on this particular webinar that have businesses. There are folks here that can help you with your funding. And what MARLS is putting together here, this was not available when I first launched into business. And I'm sure it was not available when Mr. Williams first started his business. So there are opportunities here. The funny thing about opportunities, we are being here in New York, we are hit with so many opportunities. It's like sometimes you take it for granted, right? Like since I've been living here, I've never been to the Twin Towers, and I was gone. Right now, it's a memorial site, right? I'm just using it as an analogy. Like we take a lot for granted, and a lot of what I'm going to talk about today, many of you may know already, but we do take these things for granted. All right. So thank you again, and congrats to both honorees, and I welcome the opportunity to speak. I appreciate it, but I'm very humble today. Okay. I'm going to talk briefly about the 5 Ps, and I know Mr. Brazier is here, and he's probably thinking about, okay, are we talking about PPP again? Now we're talking about PP, 5 Ps. And actually, I took 1 P out. I think 6 would be kind of weird, but the other P that I took out is patience, and patience is part of the process. And I'll talk about that in a little bit. I heard Mr. Williams mention, I think it was when you mentioned about the patience that Mr. Williams has, and you have to have patience in anything you do. And I'll talk a little bit about that. But the first P, and you guys might think it's coming out from nowhere, but the first P is perception. And I want each and every one of you to ask yourself, what is your perception of yourself and your business? Okay. Do you see yourself as being successful? Let's think about that for a second. Do you see yourself as being successful? What are other people's perception of you? And how do you perceive others? You see, perception is a stereotype. Okay. However, you can use perception to your own advantage. And I'll talk about that in a second. Now, there are folks that are here that'll listen to Mr. Williams' story, and tremendous accolades in business for 51 years, really spectacular. But think about all the hard work that he has put in, even when he first moved here to New York. It's a lot that he have done to get to the point where he's at. There's a great book by Malcolm Gladwell called The Tipping Point. It talks about the 10,000 hours that you have to put in to be successful in any one thing. And I think Mr. Williams has put in maybe over 100,000 hours, right? But it's a lot that he has put in to accomplish where he's at right now. Most people have a perception that this person got a break, it was easy. No one really knows the work that goes into it. And just by that one perception, you're actually creating your own downfall, because the perception is a mirror. How you perceive others is sometimes how you perceive yourselves, and it can work backwards. Mr. Williams and Khaleel Anderson believed in who they wanted to become, no matter their circumstance or perceived shortcomings. Okay, being the youngest assemblyman, that is something that he had in his head long before he decided to run for office. And that was his perception of himself, and he stuck through it. When I migrated to the US 25 years ago, and I'm just thinking to myself, I was like, man, it has been really 25 years. That's just time that's like, this kind of blew by. But when I first migrated here, even though I believed that this was the land of opportunity, I can do anything that I want, right? I can be who I want to be, and I could be successful. Even though I had all this passion and belief in myself, my perception was that I am at a disadvantage. I did not have an Ivy League education. I didn't have the resources, and I didn't have the capital needed to start a business, invest in a business. My mindset was just me against the world. And the thing about it is, even though you have belief in your abilities, your perception of yourself can become your own reality. So you have to believe in yourself and your perception of who you want to become and create that for yourself. I heard some folks here that owns a HVAC company, and there were a lot of business people that are part of the session today. If you own a trucking company or HVAC company, create a perception of yourself of owning the best trucking company. Become the image of what a successful owner of a trucking company would look like. If your goal is to be in the catering business and you emulate someone like Mr. Williams, perceive yourself as being so, and create your own reality. Together with your beliefs in yourself and your capabilities, pretty much anything is possible. So perception is key. The next key to success is perseverance. And perseverance and patience work hand in hand. Mr. Williams was in business for 51 years. I should say is in business 51 years, because I know Thomasina's is not going anywhere. I've been there before, wonderful establishment, great food. But he has learned a lot of lessons along the way, and he has persevered. Perseverance is key.
It's cool for me to change my background.
You can change your background, but as long as you can hear me, it's okay.
The camera's off?
Mm-hmm.
I know.
Yes, you may proceed. Did we mute Kyle? Or Kyle, can we hear you? I don't know.
Here, can you hear me?
Yes, we're hearing you. Yes.
Yeah, I was just saying, there are going to be down times. I'm sure if we had more time today, Mr. Williams can share a lot about all the stories he's had of in purchasing his properties and his business. The key thing is to keep building and nurturing your dream. How many of you guys here have heard of the story about the Chinese bamboo tree?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. If you haven't, a newly planted Chinese bamboo tree takes about 5 years to break ground. However, in the 5th year, it can shoot up over about 90 feet.
Yeah.
Let's think about that for a second. And those of you that are familiar with the SBA, you know, according to the SBA, most businesses fail in the first 5 years. Just think about that. And that's mostly due to poor planning and lack of capital. However, it's mostly due to the lack of not sticking it through. People stop because they don't see instant results. You know, we're in a time now where everyone wants instant gratification and want things to happen right away. Hey, Mark, give me that loan right away. I think I do later at HVAC company. Come today and fix my HVAC company. Even though the truck has to come from New Jersey or wherever, I want you here tomorrow morning to fix, you know, Thomas Farrell, fix my legal problems today. Things doesn't work that way. You have to have patience. You have to continue to push on, even though when in hard times, you're going to see things through. Senator Comrie, he's working on the committee there. He's working some things for the benefit of the nation. In politics, you have to have patience. And my advice to the New York Assembly members, like, you're going to have patience. There are going to be good times, going to be down times, but, you know, people from Southeast Queens is going to have your back. But, you know, they're going to want you to do the right thing and have patience as well in the process. You know, you have to continue to nurture your dreams, fertilize your bamboo tree, and give it a time to grow. And when it does, it will be gratifying. The harder the struggle, the sweeter the victory.
That's true.
The third tip I want to talk a little bit about is passion. And this is the key, one of the key metrics to success. When you're hearing Winnie talking, you're hearing the passion in her voice. And if you're hearing the passion in her voice, what MARLS is doing is phenomenal, okay? And you could hear the passion of what they're creating here. There are over 70 plus people that have attended this webinar. They came here because to acknowledge our honorees, but also because of the passion of what MARLS is doing as an organization. You have to love what you do and the people that you serve. Now I think I broke a little bit of history here. I think I have both of my moms actually here. I have my mother-in-law and my mom here. And the reason I mention them is because I want to thank them for joining us, and I have other family members here as well. But think of that home cooked meal that is made with love, that only that aunt or that uncle who's really good on the barbecue grill. Think of that one home cooked meal that is your favorite meal, that you know where to go when you need to satisfy that craving. Now, my mom cooks a wicked lasagna, and my wife's mom, she's really good with the curry and the roti. Now, I know when I need to get lasagna, where I need to go, or where I need to get my curry from. The question is, does your clients and your customers feel the same way about your business? When they need to get their tax prepared, are they in agony that, oh, I have to go back to my CPA who messed up my taxes the last time around? You know, you want to work with someone that's passionate and helpful, and someone that actually value you as a client and a customer. You know, it's a passion and the love for your business that will see you through tough times. If you're doing something that you're not passionate about, use it as a vehicle to get you where you ultimately want to be. So I know, Winnie, when you first started the session here, you were asking folks to say the name of their company and so on. There are other people who are on here are probably not in business just yet, or maybe in a business that they're not happy about, or in a job they're not happy about. You can use that opportunity you're in right now as a vehicle to get where you're at, right? We spoke about the perception. We spoke about, you know, having patience and having belief in yourself. If you're running whatever company you're in right now, and you're thinking to yourself, you know what, this industry is going down the tube, technology is going to, at some point, I'm not going to be around, and you have some plans as far as reinventing yourself and either starting another company, investing in another company, or transitioning out, still continue doing what you're right now in your present business as if this is what you're meant to do, and use that as your vehicle to take the next step. The next tip for success out of my 5 tips is people, which in my opinion is one of the most important tips. We could not have had this webinar without people. Thomasina's would not have been in existence without the people that Mr. Williams has served and provided great food and great hospitality. And we damn sure know that Mr. Assemblyman Khaleel Anderson wouldn't have been voted in without the people. The same thing, you would not be in business without your people, your customers, and your clients. There's a quote by Zig Ziglar that goes by, and most of you guys are readers here like myself, and you follow philosophy and whatnot. There's a quote that Zig Ziglar says that you can get anything that you want if you help other people get what they want.
That's right.
Just think about that and let that soak in for a second. So MARLS as an organization, they have built this for the people. They're solving problems, and MARLS will continue to grow as long as the people of MARLS, the members, continue to get what they want. If you think of that, whatever business you're in, whether you're an employee working in a business or you're aspiring to start your own business or purchase a business or wherever you're at, just think about that in any business endeavor you're in, even in your current business. Just think about that for a second. Help, become a problem solver. Mr. Anderson's bio is phenomenal. In 24 years of service that he has provided to his community, he saw a problem in his community and he solved it. He was there for his community, and now his community has voted him in. The same thing you can do for your business. Be a problem solver. People come to me when they're looking to retire and they need to sell their business and they don't know how. I help them value their business. I help them determine when they should sell their business and who they should sell to. That's a problem that I solve. And unfortunately, we're in a time where a lot of people have a lot of their investments in their business, and they want to retire, and either their family member doesn't want the business, there's no employee that they can transition the business to, and they need to go to a third-party sale. That's a problem I solve. Okay, what's a problem that you solve? Think about that. When I first came here, I didn't have to this country. I didn't have many resources, and I've had a lot of mentors along the way, and I learned the importance of having a mastermind. People like yourself that are smart in business, and people can help you along the way. I'm sure Mr. Williams had a lot of mentors along the way, as well as Assemblyman Anderson had a lot of mentors along the way. So because I cut my college short because I jumped into entrepreneurship, I needed to find the right mentors. One of them is actually here, Anthony Citrolo. I joined him and his company going on maybe 11, 12 years now. I've since become a partner in the firm. He's one of my mentors. And then I look back to myself, now being an owner in a company, how can I grow my business? How can I find people to help serve? And I went back to Zig Ziglar's quote, of helping other people get what they want so I can get what I want, right? I look back at my business and I realized that referrals drive business. I need to educate my referral sources on what a good referral looks like. And also I need to educate myself on other aspects of business that I'm not a specialty at. I'm not, it's not my specialty per se. So I founded another company called Eminae Network. Okay, we founded a company a couple of years ago. Now we have 40 members, and these are all companies, owners of different backgrounds. But the reason why they joined, because they saw a benefit in referrals, in introductions, and education. That was what they wanted. So I gave them what they wanted, and we started a business. And the same thing that Mr. Anderson has done in his community, and the same thing Mr. Williams has done. What are you going to do in your business? What are you going to solve? And how are you going to find the people to build that, whether it be key employees, reinvesting in? A lot of the major corporations invest in their key employees as far as getting them educated on sales and different trainings. You can do the same. Your human capital is one of your most important assets in your business. Finally, I'm going to talk a little bit about profits. And you can't have a business without profit unless you have, I don't want to say nonprofit, even nonprofits are profitable. Every business there, there's a business of politics. There's a business of church, right? Everything is a business these days. But if you don't have profits, you have a hobby, okay? Quite frankly. And if it's a hobby, that's fine. If you love doing your little thing on the side, that's great. But if you want to have a successful and a thriving, viable company, you need to have cash flow. Okay, and if you don't have a profitable business, what do you have? Okay, now there are opportunities where if the first 4 tips you see challenges in, like, so for example, you don't perceive that you're in a good business, you're not that passionate in what you're doing, you don't have the right people around you, all of the tips I mentioned before, there are opportunities where you can acquire a company and build and grow. So for example, you are in a, name the company, you have a catering business, for example. You've reached a point where you've implemented all what I discussed earlier, but you reach a point where your business can't grow anymore. There may be opportunities for you to acquire the assets of another catering business, acquire the intellectual property of another catering business, acquire the people of another catering business, acquire the menu, the recipes of another catering business, and grow that way. Or you might want to grow in another industry that is growing. Tech is pretty big right now. Winnie and I talk all the time about the transportation industry as well, which is possibly see some challenges down the road. There are opportunities to pivot and either invest in stocks or assets of growing industries, or invest and own and build that way. So there are opportunities that way. So over the past 11 years that I've been doing this, even though most of my clients that I work with have been sellers, what I have learned along the way is that in a period of time, I've had majority of my conversation have been with people that are looking to grow and buy companies, private equity groups, larger companies. And what I can share with everyone that's been consistent with every conversation I have with folks that are looking for viable companies, they're looking for a business with a cash flow. You want to, it's expensive living in New York, okay? They're looking for a business that is scalable, a business that it can grow. They're also looking for a business that is somewhat future-proof. Are you in a dying industry? Okay, so there's different aspects of your business that you need to evaluate. There are also risks that are involved in any business. You can start a business, and I mentioned earlier about the risk involved in starting a business, but if you have a great idea and you help the people get what they want, and you're passionate about it, and you care for people, and you have patience, you can grow and build a very solid company. The other way would be to short circuit that and acquire another business, as I suggested earlier. Now, whether you're growing a business and starting a business or acquiring a business, there are a lot of risks that are involved, and you need to have the right team. MARLS has put together a phenomenal team of people for you to work with, but you need to have the right legal representation to help with your contracts, reviewing any liens, disputes. Negotiations with landlords can be very tricky. It's a lot that happens there. There's a lot of financial risk that involved. A lot of businesses don't have their books and in order, and it may not be as they has disclosed, and I've seen a lot of that. So you want to make sure, if that's not your forte, to have good advisors on your team that can help review your business, make sure you're set up right, or advise you in any business that you're looking to acquire. One of the other key aspects that I consult with a lot of my clients is on the acquisition side of things is, finding good people. I mean, I'm sure, I don't know how much time we have. If I'd love to hear some stories from Mr. Williams and so on, but finding good people is really hard, right? Finding good people, retaining employees, training employees. I mean, HR it's a key element to a business, and it's tough to find the right people. There are services out there that help you interview and locate and interview people for your company. If you are looking to expand, you might want to utilize some of those services, because one of the key things I see in my business in helping clients grow their companies is the hiring and training and retention of people. Also the service and your products, how diverse are your services. For example, if you're in the food business, do you have one vendor or multiple vendors? Your customers, you have one customer or multiple customers? How many products do you have? How many sources you have for your materials and your food and so on? You need to have a diversity throughout your service and product offering. Now, I know we are short on time, but those are just 5 quick tips I wanted to go over, everyone. You know, I appreciate, and I want to thank you, Winnie, for this opportunity. I know we're very short on time. I'll put it back to Winnie, but you know, I would love to hear you know, a story from Mr. Williams. You know, because that's how I learned. That's how I got into what I'm doing. I like hearing stories from entrepreneurs, how they built their companies and how they got to where they are, because you can learn a lot from someone, and you can also learn from their mistakes as well, so you know what to do. So with that, I'm gonna leave it at that. Thank everyone for the time and opportunity, and Winnie, on it, you guys do a wonderful job. And again, want to acknowledge, and you know, my accolades and my hats is off to Assemblyman Mr. Anderson as well as Mr. Williams. Thank you so much.
Wonderful, wonderful. Can you